Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I want to show the Spellbinders Club Kits for January of 2023. Can you believe it's a new year and some changes have been made to the Spellbinders Club Kits. First notable change is that the Amazing Paper Grace Die of the Month is no longer a club kit option. So I think if I read correctly, if you were previously signed up for that, the last club kit that you received from APG was last December's, and I think your club membership for that particular subscription was automatically canceled. There's been a new club kit added, and that couple new ones actually. So there's I'll show the first one. There is a 3D embossing folder of the month. And so I've opted to get the 3D folder this year as opposed to the standard folder. So it's the same size in the sense that it's 8.5 by 5.5. And what makes it 3D is that the design, instead of embossing the design all to sort of the same level, so everything being raised to the same level or debossed into the same level, with a 3D embossing folder, you get different, and you can even feel it, you get different levels of how much certain areas are raised. So some areas are a little bit more flat to the paper. Some areas are pushed upwards more and feel like they are closer to you. So for these flowers, for example, you're gonna get towards the center, it's a little bit more raised, and towards the edges, it's a little bit more flat. So it actually feels like a dome instead of just being, one level and then all of a sudden it's another level. So instead of the flower being like this, the flower is more like that, where you get more curvature. So that's the difference between, in effect, what you get with a 3D embossing folder versus a standard one. And of course, your sandwich is going to be a little bit different. I am really glad that I have the universal plate system, because the occasional 3D embossing folders that I've picked up over the last year, before I got the universal system, I always had to kind of figure out, how to shim my platform machine with some extra cardstock to get a really good impression, because sometimes when you emboss with it, if you don't have the right sandwich combination, you're not getting that full effect of all of those different layers. And so having the universal plate system is great because it tells you exactly what you need and you get really, really consistent striking results. So really, really love that. So I decided to get this one instead of the 2D embossing folder. Another new club kit that's been introduced is the stitching dies. I opted not to get that, so I don't have that one to show. And then another club kit that I don't have to show, but I'm aware of the change, is the craft kit of the month. So that one has been reduced in price, and the dies and the stamp that you would normally get in those the box of the month have been eliminated from that product line. So it makes it which I think makes a lot of sense, because now those kits are very self-contained, kind of all in one, where if you don't have any sort of die cutting machine, any stamps or inks, you can use everything in there just straight away. And so it's good for that reason. So great for anyone who is starting out and just doesn't have a lot of equipment. So the other wonderful thing about it is that by taking those elements out, it's also kind of reduced the price point. So it makes it so that those kits are, I think, a little bit more affordable to more people. So I think that's really fantastic. So this is the one new one, or the change that I made. So instead of the regular embossing folder, I this year will be getting the 3D embossing folder. I won't be getting the APG die of the month anymore because that no longer exists. And then the rest of my clubs are the same. So we have the clear stamp and die of the month, and it's got this gorgeous floral with a smaller, this one's great for corners. You might want to stamp this on the inside of a card too, or even on the envelope, and then a few sentiments. Then if you also get the coordinating dies with it, because you always have the option to get just the clear stamp by itself or the stamp with the coordinating die. And here you do have dies for both of these, but you only have one die to cut out. I think it's Hello Friend. So you don't have the die that will cut out these two, which is a little bit of a bummer, because I started to really enjoy having dies that cut out the sentiment. Then with the Glimmer of the Month, this I thought was kind of cool. So it's a car, and you even have it's nestled in there pretty tightly, but there's even the outline die to cut out, so you can glimmer up a whole car, which I thought is kind of cute. And then there's this floral spray, that's a glimmer plate, and then three. Now these look like they're teeny tiny, but I think the thing is that they're meant to actually fit within the window area, the side windows. And then you also have some dies. So you have the die that will cut out the car, you have the outline die that will cut out the glimmered floral spray here, you have a teeny tiny, like a little tag, and those glimmered sentiments can fit on the tag. I guess it's more for the tags, but I think it'll fit into these open areas too. And then you have these little dies that will cut your window pane also, so you can use that. So I think you've got some options there, and the sentiments say for you, hello, and yay. So I think it would be kind of cute to put it directly in the window, but I do think it's probably, now that I'm thinking about it, meant to be glimmered onto the little tag there. So that's our Glimmer of the Month. Then this is cool. So this is the small die of the month, and I love this gorgeous ampersand. It's pretty large too. So it is about just shy of 3 inches tall, and about shy of 2.5 wide, if we're talking about like this edge to that edge there. So gorgeous. And you get this bit of an accent as well. So I think this can layer right here if you want. And it's got some of the deboss detailing. And then we've also got some different debossing sentiment plates. And I've done it before where I've foiled with these debossing plates, and it actually works pretty well. So you can glimmer these, because with the debossing plates, the metal that you see where the letters are pushes your cardstock down, and so it sort of indents your cardstock, where embossing has a look that's a little bit more raised. Usually the pattern is raised. Debossing is where the pattern is depressed into your card. So to make it legible, that metal where the letters are is a little bit wider, and that's basically what a glimmer plate is. It's wider lines, so that and it also debosses that pattern into your your cardstock too. So if you look at the cutting line of a regular die, it's pretty thin, and you can glimmer your dies as well. You just get pretty thin lines. But if you look at the thickness of the lines on the debossing sentiment plates, they're a little bit thicker than your cutting lines, and so they're great for glimmering as well. And we get a load of them here. We have, and they're meant to be kind of combined with the ampersand. So we have, you are my forever. Over the rest, you are above many more, my everything, and happy birthday. So really awesome. And you can see they're phrases, but meant to kind of be used in conjunction with one another and the ampersand. And then there are some dies that will cut out your sentiment strips as well. Interesting that we get, so there's 3 different sizes, but there's two that are the same size. It's kind of interesting that we don't have them in. I guess there's a lot of sentiments that this particular size will fit in, but they're nice because you can do your deboss sentiment and cut the strip for it at the same time. So you can line them both up, maybe run a little bit of low tack tape behind them just so that your die plates don't jump. And then you can get your entire sentiment strip in one pass through your machine. And then on top of that, there are some florals, and you can kind of layer some of the bits up, because we have this one here, and then you have one that you can layer on top of that. You've got the center of your flowers, which you can layer up, and some leaves and sprigs as well. So really, really great. That's the small die of the month. Then the large die of the month is pretty much all florals. Lots of different ones too. And again, these are layering ones as well. So you can see those 2 layer up, so you can have maybe the darker color sort of behind, and then this one would layer on top, and you can maybe make that cut that out of a lighter shade. You've got this sprig here, and then you can die cut this out and layer on top of those, and these 2 pieces layer up. Lots of little flowers. I think that one, yeah, there's different sizes of that one. So there's just a lot here, a lot of different florals. This one you can die cut multiple times and then just kind of stagger them and layer them that way. Lots of different leaves, lots of different sort of foliage sprays. So really, really cool this. So lovely, lovely. Those are the kits that I have, and of course I'll have my regular flip video linked to at the end of this one, as well as my Spellbinders playlist, where you can see all of my makes where I feature Spellbinders dies and stamps. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.